Hi YouTube, darthsteve333 here again with another pickups video. I've said this before, I'm going to try and make this as short as possible, although it has been a good while since I last filmed a video. So apologies for the rather sparse and unchanged background. I did read your comments, those of you that did reply to my last video about trying to possibly spruce up the background. I have some ideas, but at the moment it's just ideas. I'm thinking of maybe changing location, possibly have something playing in the background. Toyed with the idea of possibly creating some sort of green screen, so at least there can be some footage, something interesting going on, rather than my boring old waffling head. But there you go. Anyway, thanks for the feedback. I will be doing some experimental videos just purely for my own personal delectation and consideration, see what happens. So watch this space anyway. It might change, it might not. Unfortunately, the tiny flat that I live in, space is at an absolute premium. I'm filming the pickups video now so that I can actually put some of the stuff away. I have an elaborate filing system, if you like. Everything's got to be fit into a very, very small area. And at the moment I'm at danger of tripping over everything. So here we go. Anyway, it's been a rather, I thought, rather sparse few weeks really. I've been doing the usual of mooching around charity shops, car boots, having a look on Facebook and the like. Essentially pickings have been pretty slim. There was a pickup I alluded to in my last video. I'm going to save that till last. It was the reason why I couldn't go to the Leeds Retro Market, or Retro Game Market 2, which I'd really like to have gone to. Could have seen a few faces that I recognised from YouTube, and then sort of gotten all shy and clammed up and sort of looked furtively at them from a distance. But anyway, I'm getting off topic again. Let's try and crack on. I might even make this 2 videos, so it sort of whittles down the length a bit. Anyway, so talking of car boots, it's going to be in no particular order, and some of these I'm not going to remember where I got them from, so bear with me. First thing I should probably mention is I did try out a couple of new car boots probably a week and a half ago now. It was a bit of a dead door now. One of the 2 people I saw that were selling video game stuff was your typical sort of house clearance type chap. Got chatting to him, nice enough fella and that, but I asked him about the price and a couple of things. He had a Master System 2 which I've already got. I'm looking for a Master System 1 if possible, because they just look nicer, and I understand the video outputs are better. But yeah, he was asking quite a lot for that. Saw this particular game, asked him how much it was. I thought, well, I'm not going to pay that straight away. Walked around the rest of it, had a look. There was someone selling some very average PlayStation 1 games for £3, £4, £5 a pop, so I thought, I'll leave that. I'm not in the habit of paying that much for PS1 games if I can help it, unless, you know, it's a good one. Anyway, this guy, went back to him, picked up Pokemon Silver. I'd forgotten I actually got this. It is a slightly better copy than my existing one, so there will be a copy of Pokemon Silver up for trade. I believe the save battery works on both of them, so yeah, I'll be keeping hold of this one and putting the other one up for trade. In talking to the guy, I asked him about a Dreamcast game I saw there. I was thinking of maybe picking it up more for the purposes of doing a case swap, because it was a good condition case. It was a game I got already, Ferrari F355 Challenge, and basically swapping out the case for one of my more battered ones. I think my Rayman 2 was in a pretty shabby case, but yeah, by the time I got back it'd gone. He told me that I think he was willing to part with it for £3 when he talked to me earlier. He says, oh, I sold it for £5 to a guy. He was a collector. You can charge anything you like to collectors. And there you have it. That's probably the biggest problem we have in one single sentence. Anyway, apart from that one pickup was a bit of a dead dead end. I did try another one on the way back home, and that was, if you can remember Blue Peter in the 80s, it was like the equivalent of a bring and buy sale. It was essentially all woolly jumpers and rubbish really. So I was in there, I think probably that was a record for the quickest ever car boot sale I'd been to. It was an indoor one. I was in and out of there in about 3 minutes. Anyway, what else have I picked up? Visited a local retro game shop that started only probably 4 or 5 months ago. Thought I'd have a look in there. Rather pleased to have found this Metal Gear Solid Special Missions, which I used to have in Game Collection version 1 before I had to sell it all off. So pleased to pick that up again. And in nice nick as well. So yeah, pleased to support a local business. It seemed like a nice chap in there. Been in there a couple of times now, picked up a couple of things. So yeah, where else did I find? The local usual car boot that I affectionately refer to as the crap car boot. 1 week I come away with this for the SNES, Jimmy Connor's something, Pro Tennis Tour in tiny writing down there, 50p, so that wasn't too bad. Similarly, what else? These are assorted car boot pickups. Ratchet and Clank Size Matters for the PS2. Marvel Ultimate Alliance for the PS2. Spyro New Beginning for the PS2. I think they were all £1 each. This was also from the car boot. Now what did I get? I know what it was. Seen this the previous week, Earth Defense Force Insect Armageddon for the 360. I've heard people sort of praise this particular series of games. Not played them myself as yet to try this one. It's yeah, he said, £5 for that, good game. I was like, I'll think about it. Went back the next week, it was still there, but so is this, which I do have already, so I picked it up really for trade purposes. But I asked him how much the two of them together were, £5. So while waiting for a week, I've got a copy of Echo the Dolphin as well, so that wasn't too bad. More assorted charity shop stuff. I can't remember the games that I picked up on this particular day. This isn't a game, but it is something that I was very pleased to see. If you were a kid, let's see, sort of late 80s, early 90s I suppose, you might remember this from BBC Two around tea time, or I think later at the weekends. Didn't even realise they brought it out on DVD. It's The Invaders, a Quinn Martin production. So yeah, pleased to pick that up. Cheesy as hell. It was essentially the same episode in a different location every week. Basically, guy who knows that there are some invaders from another planet amongst us, tries to convince the local population, manages to thwart the invaders' evil scheme, but no one believes him by the end of it, and it carries on. Anyway, first season of that cost me £4, so happy to pay that. What's next? Yes, this was another car boot pickup. Now this is actually the one I traded out of my own collection, Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee. And you already had it, but the copy I picked up, which is now sort of filed away with the rest of my GameCube games, it's in good condition disc, came with a manual, so obviously that's gone in my collection. And this one without the manual and disc only is now up for trade. I think that was £1.50. Also, charity shop wise, similar sort of situation. Already got Legends of Wrestling for the GameCube. Saw that and Legends of Wrestling 2, also GameCube, in the same charity shop for I think 99p each. So obviously traded out my existing one, which is in fairly good nick. It's got the manual. Disc is a bit scratched up, but playable. I'll probably clean it before I trade that, obviously. So I got that on Legends of Wrestling 2 for 99p each, so that was alright. What shall I cover next? Ah, yes. Went to a recycle centre on a day off, and it's quite a good one. I've been there a couple of times before. Usually all the games are cleaned out. I found 3 good ones, and they were charging a little bit more than the usual £1 each because they were slightly more sought after, and obviously someone who works there knows a little bit about the games. So the 3 I picked up were, I've got Heart of Darkness, PlayStation 1 Platinum. I believe this has got very good condition manual. It's got the 3D glasses for the final section of the game, which I think very few people have actually seen because it's quite a tough one. Now, I've got the non-platinum, i.e. the black label version of this, but I'm not sure if I've actually got 3D glasses. So obviously some element of this is going to be a trade. I might hold on to the 3D glasses. That was £3. No, that was £2. This was £2. Medieval, again platinum version. It's got the poster, which is I think also a map. Yep, poster and map in it. There you go. And that was quite nice. I do have, again, a black label copy of Medieval. Obviously the disc is fine, it's got the manual. So I'll probably trade that at some point as well. That was £2. And this one was a £5, but I was pleased to pick this up because I've only got the platinum version at the minute, along with the other 2 games in the series for the PS1. All platinums in my collection at the moment, so obviously I'm going to trade this out and put my platinum version up for trade. So yep, this is going into my collection. Now, I'm not sure if anyone knows, but I used to have this. I can't recall there being a second disc in there, whether it's a demo or whether someone's just nabbed that out of another case, I'm not sure. But I certainly can't remember being another disc in there, but this is lovely condition. Obviously, disc is beautiful, case is beautiful, manual looks like it's never been opened. So that was a £5, and I was quite happy to pay that for that, because it will improve my collection. What next? This was off a Facebook group. I've got these already for the PS1, but again I've got platinum versions. Air Combat, so my platinum will be swapped out. And Thunderhawk 2, again I've got the platinum single case version. Like this is a double CD case version, one of the earlier ones, so that will go in my collection nicely, and the platinum will get swapped out. What next? Miscellaneous. Now then, I can't quite remember where I picked these up from, so I'm going to assume they were all charity shops. I think 99p a go. So I got Bugs Bunny Lost in Time, pretty scratched up. That's actually become a bit of a test piece for my various approaches to try and clean discs. Doing quite well. It's heavily scratched in the first place. It's now only really got one deepish scratch, which I think affects the sound slightly, so I'm going to try another go at it. I can't see any scratches in the top layer, so provided I can actually buff that out, that should work fine. So if it does, I'll be happy. That was 99p, I'm sure. Then I've got Rayman 1 and 2 separately, but I think again these were like charity shop finds and £1 a go. So Rayman 1, Rayman 2. Surprisingly, I haven't got either of them for the PS1. I don't think, anyway. Certainly I've got pictures of all my games, which I update periodically and take out with me, so if I'm not sure I can just visually check to see whether I've got them, and I don't believe I had either of them. So anyway, pleased to get them. Right, this was a little bundle that I found at the car boot. In fact, it's part of a little bundle. Essentially, I got a bucket which people had been rifling through. This was at the crap car boot again. It was like a little basket about so big. And originally it was all full of you know, nicely arranged games and a console, and it was a PS1. The lady was initially asking 15 quid, and I sort of loitered by there a bit later on, because there was a game I'd seen in there that I knew I hadn't got, and I'd asked her if she would consider selling separately, and she says no, not really. I think she was asking 15 quid. So anyway, I meandered past there a bit later on as the time was going by. The basket of games was in even worse condition. There were things everywhere. I swear, some people just go through things, oh, I don't know, they're just rifling through them, chucking things in the air, you know, discs are flying here, there and everywhere, inlays are flying out. It's a bloody feeding time at the zoo thing, so I'm sure that's not unknown. I think it probably must happen everywhere, but this seemed to be worse than normal. Anyway, cutting a long story short, went over to the lady and I sort of says, oh hello, it's me again, not sold that yet. And she says, no, people have been rifling through it like the clappers. I'm reducing it to a tenner just to get rid. And I was like, yeah, why not? She seemed like a nice enough lady. I think there was basically PlayStation 1 and an old analog stickless controller, so that's good. I've only got one of them from my original PS1, so I've got 2 of them now. I think there was a DualShock in there as well and a third-party controller. Most of the wires except the power cable, which she was a bit worried about, but I says don't worry, it's basically a figure of 8 plug. Anything that takes them, like, you know, the world supply of video players from back in the day used to take them, I think, so I've got plenty of them available to me, so I told her not to worry. And I've got these games, so bit of a mixed bag. The one I was really looking for is at the bottom, so I've got a battered Smackdown 2 with no front cover. The disc's okay. It looks like it came from the PDSA originally for £1.50. So there's that. Got Harry Potter und der Kammer des Schreckens, which is Chamber of Secrets, but it looks like a German version. Disc is okay, I believe. Apologies for absolutely destroying the German language there. I never studied German, and you can probably tell. Got Croc, Legend of the Gobos, or Gobos, which I haven't got that, so that was good find. Unusually, copy of Tomb Raider, Platinum box, oops, Platinum manual, PAL disc, scratched, but even more unusually, the first time I went by there, it had the Platinum disc in there, and oh no, this is Tomb Raider 2. Didn't spot that till now. So yeah, someone obviously stopped by and says, oh, I've actually got the case and everything, I'm just after the disc. So he paid us something like about, he says, oh, I'll give you £3 for it. So he whopped the Platinum Tomb Raider 1 disc out, took that away with him, disc only, £3. So, you know, I went back and got Tomb Raider 2 and the Tomb Raider 1 Platinum box and manual. So, interesting aside. Another Harry Potter. This looks like it was probably sold with one of the little PS1s, the little mini version. It's got a little sign up here saying to be sold with PS1 unit only, not to be sold separately. This has still got a price sticker of £1 on, so presumably they picked that up second hand. But it's a thin case, not to be sold separately. So, like I say, I think that was probably a packing, or bundle packing or whatever. That's 3 from that little bundle. Action game featuring Hercules. No manual in that, but again, it's a game I haven't got. ATV Quad Power Racing. This was actually in quite good nick. It's got the disc, the manual, and obviously the box. I think the disc was in good shape. Oh yeah, and some other bump and a claim manual, not manual, catalogue. There's the actual manual itself. There's the Acclaim brochure. What have we got here? Right, I'll get this right in a minute. There's the manual for the game. There's the Acclaim brochure. And oddly, a manual for Jeremy McGrath or Jeremy McGrath Supercross 2000. I don't think I've got that. Anyway. The game, finally, that I predominantly picked up the bundle for was this, Colony Wars Vengeance. Now, I'd seen a copy of this in a shop, and I think it was about a £5 somewhere in one of the retro game stores I've been in the last couple of months. And it was in German. Nothing against German, but if possible I'd like to pick things up in English. So I passed on that occasion. So I was quite pleased to see this in English with a manual, albeit a bit crinkly. That completes my Colony Wars games on the PS1 again. So yeah, as I say, bearing in mind the German version of that was £5 in a retro game shop. If I assume that's going to be the same sort of value, I got the rest of the games plus a PS1 and some controllers for another £5, so can't grumble at that. More miscellaneous pickups from the crap car boot. Some Game Boy Advance games, these were 50p each. Need for Speed Most Wanted. Max Payne. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Rogue Spear. And Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow. So 50p a go. Little additions to my Game Boy Advance collection. Right, we're getting there. Like I say, I might split this in two somewhere, because I'm aware I've probably already been going about 20 minutes, and there's only so much monotone mumbling you can put up with in one go. So might have to find a good point to stop. In fact, I'll leave a little pause here, which I might actually edit out anyway, and this might be the end of part 1.